Hello everyone, it's Christine here and I'm back for our stitch along, and we are going to be doing a spider web rose today. So I've just drawn around a little template. I just used this little plastic, I think it's like a curtain pull or something that I was potentially going to use for my shisha stitch the other day, and I've just drawn around in the center of that using my friction marker, which erases with heat. And then the book tells us to mark at the 12 o'clock mark, the 2 o'clock mark, the 5 o'clock mark, the 7 o'clock mark and the 10 o'clock. So it does seem strange to me that you have a bigger interval here and here, but that's what the book says, so that is what we will do. Then you need a piece of thread to put in your spokes for your web. So come in from the 12 into the center, and then from the 5 to the center, from the 7 to the center, and then the 10 o'clock to the center and the 2 o'clock to the center. I'm just using a punch needle yarn for this, but you can use whatever you want. It's probably something that's got a bit of thickness to it just so it's easy to weave under, because that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll just tie that off on the back. Then the book says to use ribbon, and silk ribbon or a ribbon that you can pass from the back. I'm actually going to use this braid that I've got that is like a ribbon effect, but I've got a whole bunch of it just recently secondhand, although the rolls hadn't actually been used. They were just from Purveyor of Reclaimed Textiles, who I get goodies from here in Melbourne. And so I'm going to pop up in the first segment as close to the centre as I possibly can. And then I'm going to start passing my thread over and under. So over the first spoke, under the second, over the third, and then under, and then over and under. And it says on that first round, pull it nice and tight so it sort of covers the centre. And then I'm going to do a few more rounds. In the book, they're using a thicker silk ribbon, so they only do 2 rounds, but I'm going to go around a few more times. So over. And because you've got an uneven number of spokes, it means each time you're rotating around, you're doing a different over or under from the previous round. So you're actually covering the spokes quite nicely. So they suggest a darker colour in the centre for your rose, and then a lighter colour for the outside. But if you only had one type of silk ribbon, you could all do it all in the one. Or you can have a play around with different materials like I'm doing. So probably, I think that's probably enough, enough for the centre. So I'll take my braid, or if you're using ribbon, take your ribbon to the back. Let it go nice and tight so it makes a nice centre for your rose. And I'll just tie that off at the back. Because it's a bit slinky, I'll just do a second knot just to be sure that it's properly tied off. Save that braid for another activity. And then I'll grab a piece of yellow silk ribbon that I've got. This one is a 4mm one. Let's get rid of that thready bit. And then we're going to pop out in that first quadrant as well, just under where your centre piece is. And then we're going to start the process again of over, under, and we'll let the ribbon sort of twist as we go. Over and under, over, just give it a bit of a pull, but not too much. You want to keep just those nice little petally effects. I had actually started to film this video, but then the phone rang and it was Mum and Dad. As I would have mentioned in one of my other videos, they've got COVID. Dad's almost feeling back to normal. He took the antivirals. Mum got it a few days after Dad. and is still feeling pretty poorly, a bit shaky and things, but hopefully she starts to pep up soon. She was just up having an orange juice that Dad had squeezed for her. So we're just going over and under, and because you've got that uneven number of spokes every time, it's alternating from the previous. I should get my tail out of the way so then I'm not trying to weave that in. And again, if you're conserving your precious silk ribbons, don't make your circle too big. You just want to make it just enough that you can get a few rounds in of your ribbon petals. And another tip would be just to keep your petals looser, and then they'll fill out the space even more readily. But the main thing is to cover your little spoke pieces, your spokes, so that you don't see those at the end. Just tease that last one. I just pulled it a tiny bit too much, and I think I just want to let it stay a little bit looser. Under, over, under. And then that one's over, and that one will be under. So I think I'm almost getting to the point that my framework's almost hidden. Probably just a few more rounds, and not pulling too tight as I go, letting it. I think that was an over. Yes, this one's an under. Pulled that one a little bit tight again, so I'm just going to use the other end of my needle just to tease my little petals out a little bit. And then we may as well finish off the ribbon. No point keeping this little endy bit, so we may as well go around just enough to... So that one was an under, that one will be an over. Can barely even find my spokes now, but try to do it right. Over, under, over. So you are just going under the spokes, you're not going through the fabric or anything. That was an under, wasn't it? So that one will be an over and then an under. Might have pulled it a little bit tight, and again I might just spread them out a little bit. Also, I want to be able to see that nice little centre. And then that was an under, and then we'll do an over and an under. And I think that's probably enough, and I'll take it to the back, and then I'll just give my front bits just a little bit of a stretching out, just to get a nice voluptuous rose with a little centre showing out. And there you go. Isn't that lovely? So delicate and really nice having that darker centre in it, and the braid definitely worked well for that, but good to use the ribbon on the outside. And I'll just give it a further little teasing just to get those beautiful little petals looking really lovely. Really, really beautiful. I'm very pleased with that, so I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry for the light coming in the window. It's a sunny afternoon now. I'll see you tomorrow for a simple one, split stitch and split back stitch, which we'll do the next day. Thanks everyone, take care, bye.